Welcome to another Saturday here on the Income Streams. We are going to be reviewing YouTube today. I sort of select at random from those who are here live. If you're watching the replay, I would encourage you to come in live next week to put your own website or your channel reviewed every day in the morning. And we're going to go until 360 straight back in March 2020 of the pandemic. I haven't stopped since. And honestly, you have helped keep me. Hopefully, I've helped you sane and busy and providing value. So again, thank you so much for today. I appreciate you. We already have some names on the list, and it's very solid. I'm going to bring it back up. So appreciate you, and welcome to the show. Here we go. Right. It's a little jerky today. What's going on? What's going on? Anyone else clipping? So no sound. Okay, let me see if I can figure on. The sound. So Roadcaster, input, output. Computer being weird. Check. Restart. There we go. All right, we should be much better now. I apologize for that. I know exactly what happened, and I'm going to tell you in a minute. But first of all, I want to say thank you for sticking with me and for being here. And I don't have any thumbs down, which is really great, so I appreciate you for that. And Rob's like, well, how's the weather? And yes, this does happen from time to time. And you know what? You got to expect it. That's one thing I've come to learn with business and entrepreneurship is that you just got to expect that these kinds of things are going to happen. And if they don't, that's an awesome bonus. But if they do, you just kind of deal with it, you move forward, and you go from there. Now, I know exactly what happened. Number one, I was messing around with some stuff related to a new channel that I'm starting, and that made it a little wonky in terms of what the settings were. But number two, I did not restart my computer. I was editing some videos yesterday. It does a lot on the computer in terms of it being tired and just kind of needing to reset, and I forgot to reset it. So I just hit reset, and thankfully, Ecamm Live, which is the software we use, was like, yo, you cut off in the middle of a broadcast. Do you want to resume? And I was like, yes. And I was like, all right. So then we're back. We're good to go. So thank you again. I appreciate you. And that is right. Rob says 100% uptime doesn't exist. Prepare for that. So thank you again. And I think this is a great lesson because sometimes when we're building our websites or putting stuff up on YouTube, nothing is going to be perfect. You're going to run into mistakes. You're going to run into brick walls sometimes. And you know what? You just got to keep going. So many people reach those brick walls and they stop and they start over, or they just completely give up. And that is the ultimate failure. But learning from your mistakes and doing better the next time, which now I've made that mental note, is the way to go. So thank you again. I appreciate it. And let's get started. So today we're going to be reviewing YouTube channels and websites. And this is really important because we need to together figure out, well, what can we do to improve what we've already started? And that's what this is all about. Like I said, you don't need to be, and you shouldn't try to be perfect right out of the gate. But over time, you need to take feedback from your audience. You need to look at your analytics to see what's working and do more of what is and less of what isn't. And if possible, get feedback from the outside, because sometimes it's hard to read the label when you're inside the bottle, right? So that means you need some outside perspective. And that's why I wanted to provide this space for you on Saturdays. And like I was saying earlier, if you happen to be here on Saturdays, we do website and YouTube channel reviews, but I'm here every day, and I'm here every day for the next, I don't know, 100 plus days at least until we get to 365 straight. So let's get the party started. I have a couple YouTube channels and websites to review already, and I just want to dive right in. And as I'm pulling these up on YouTube, I want to describe a little bit about what I'm going to be looking for. And this is relevant for websites, YouTube channels, podcasts, whatever content you're creating, even your own social media profile. The number one thing that you need to understand is that when people come in and find you for the first time, they're going through a decision-making process in their head. They're considering whether or not they should keep going or they should leave. And there's a few things that we need in order to help people understand that they are in the right spot and they should click through and keep going. Number one, we need to, within the first 10 seconds, help people understand exactly what the point of all this is. what is here that is useful for me? Not me, Pat Flynn, but the person who's visiting your website or coming across your YouTube channel. That's really important. Number two, how is this different, perhaps, than what might be out there already or what might I have already found? So how might you be able to differentiate yourself? That's what I'm going to be looking for today. Number three, of course, there's a lot of times that we see and come across a lot of these distractions, like pop-ups in the first second before I even get to know you. That's like asking me to marry you before we got on our first date. So things like that I'm looking out for. Number four, I want to see your personality come through or something that allows me to connect with you, not just in terms of your unique selling proposition or your content, but the personality behind the brand and how can I connect with you, the person or the company on the other end. And number five, I just am going to be very honest and brutally honest, but just know that this all comes from a place of service and wanting to help. So if you happen to be on the chopping block today, don't be too nervous. Everything I'm going to say and everything that the chat here is going to say is, in fact, here to help you, right? So just keep that in mind and don't worry so much. And, you're welcome to your own opinion too, of course, but a lot of this is coming from my own experience, and plus you get to crowdsource a lot of the experience here too. So let's go and find history for thinkers. And this is a person who is in early, and the early bird definitely gets the worm. So I hover in the chat before the thing starts, and I can often see the conversation and what's happening. A lot of times I use that on the daily to see how people are feeling about the topic, and if anybody's struggling with something in particular who comes in early, I want to reward them. So I highly recommend that before these streams, you come in early, you hang out in the chat, and then you just chat with each other. And if you happen to need anything, talk about it, and I might be able to see it. It's not always the case, but I do see it, and I did see History for Thinkers share today that he or she needed some help. So let's go and review this channel. Your review for my website has helped me a lot, says Dr. Severin. Thank you so much. I saw that Manos had mentioned earlier, Manos Man, who's here in the chat with us right now, said that he's already implemented a lot of the things that we were covering last week. And there we go. We know you hover, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Dil Nawaz, you are muted and nobody can see your messages. So you can't spam. That's not happening here. Do you want a high five or do you want to slap? Right? We're here. Let's keep it positive and let's move forward. So here we go. History for thinkers. So I love the logo, by the way. The logo is so dope. And I can see some consideration for branding and color and whatnot. This, to me, with the British logo down here, it definitely looks really, really nice. I will say, however, that I have no idea what this is about. So the only thing that I have to go off of is history. Right? So is this history for thinkers? But what about history? A lot of times history is either for people who are super nerdy about it and it's like anything history they're into, or history scares the crap out of people because it was the worst subject that they took in high school or whatever. So I think it's really important that we consider, okay, well, sure, history, cool, but what about history? Are we going deep into certain topics? Is this specifically for British history? Is this something that can potentially be niched down? Right? I think we're a little bit too general, and you have all this real estate up here to add even just a tagline or an image or something that helps me connect with, okay, well, when I get here, like, what is this exactly about, right? I do like the logo. It looks very institutional, but that's not a bad thing. This is very professional looking. I will say, however, that we can benefit from including a little bit more here in the empty space to the left and right to just explain a little bit more about what they get here. Also, you might even consider if you are indeed not afraid to put your face up on here, this is often a great time to pop a personality on there, right? Maybe also include the frequency of videos and that kind of thing. So that's sort of number one. I like how the logo looks on the avatar, though. That's really nice. That sticks out like a sore thumb in a good way. So why was the British Empire successful? Let's go down. So I see uploads, multiple playlists, channels. You could break out these playlists into their own vertical sort of row here. So I would, or horizontal row, excuse me. So you have a playlist for psychology, playlist for economics, playlist for philosophy, biographies. This is really cool. I'd love to see all of these just sort of sprayed here on the homepage. And what you can do is you can, in fact, modify your channel in such a way where you have a number of different rows here so that we can actually see each of the individual videos, because sometimes it might be the video more toward the right of, video 5 under psychology might be the one that people are really interested in, or the thumbnail seems to capture their attention and whatnot. And so that's really important to do, because it's just more instances and opportunity for people to go, oh, that's a video that I want. The whole purpose of this page right here is to get people to click on something, right? That's the most important thing. So let's see. Thumbnails, I'll comment on that in a little bit, but I do want to commend you for having some sort of featured video here already. I really love the fact that you have this video here. And no, it doesn't seem like it's a welcome video, and that's okay. Having a welcome video is great because you can introduce yourself really quickly in about a minute or two to what this thing is about, which can support the whole, well, okay, what am I going to get here? But you've chosen a different video, and that's okay too. I often recommend including either a quick welcome or introduction video here, or number 2, including your most popular video that most subscribers. This is what I do. I look at my analytics to see which videos have given me the most subscribers, and I pop that here because we know that this is our workhorse. This is what's giving us most of our subscribers, and we can just kind of put it right on the front, not keep it on the fringe of our channel, but just put it right front and center so that people can see it and we can get more subscribers. Cool? Cool. So I want to play this video. It's 20 minutes in length, so it seems like you tend to go deep, which is really cool. I would say that you have wasted some space here, right? So I could see that the title of this video was "Why Was the British Empire Successful?" But then the first part of the description, why was the British Empire successful? This is History for Thinkers, timestamps. You got to sell this to me, right? Imagine you have a product to sell. And let's just call this product, ABC, whatever, ABC. Imagine going up to somebody and saying, hey, this is ABC. And then they go, oh, what's this about? This is product ABC. Okay, I'm going to go over here now, right? So the description you want to use to sell this video and to help people understand more about what it's about. This is also something that would behoove you to focus on, because you can include more keywords in there and more description so that the algorithms could potentially favor you better too. So you have the title and a pretty decent thumbnail. I got to say, your thumbnails are very unique and they're sort of very personality driven, which I really like. But I think that you're losing out on the opportunity to potentially get found by others by not including more description and more keywords in your description, if that makes sense, right? Cool. We have a new secret word, by the way. I already used it. You may have missed it, but I already said it. Let me know, chat, if you were here yesterday, if indeed you caught that. So let's go here and let's click play on this. I wanna hear what this is like. I wanna see if I might be able to. Let me go over here and just get my headphones on so I can listen properly. Yep, you got to write copy for the video, says Ray. And Ray is the godfather of copywriting. So let's welcome Ray in the channel today. Make sure you follow him and check him out. Okay, I'm going to hit play.
Why was the British Empire successful? Let's start in the Far East. China has had one of the largest populations and economies in the world. This dates back thousands.
All right, I've already seen enough. The style of video, super great. I'm so surprised that you don't have more subscribers yet. And maybe you just started, actually. Let's see. I'm going to go to videos, and I'm going to scroll down, and wow, you've been at this for a little bit. So for well over a year. I think that a lot of these things that we're talking about today could potentially skyrocket your views over time. Now,
Why
of course,
was the British
some of this stuff does take time, but I think that some of these things that we're talking about, that alone could help you get found more, because the style of these kinds of videos are very similar to those very educational TEDx videos, to the very educational infographic type stuff. It's very intriguing. But one thing that I would say is that in the beginning of your videos, if you can include something that hooks people in, that gets them to go, I need to know exactly why that happened, then you can get them to stick around a little bit more. The audio quality was good for sure, right? So yes, the secret word this whole week is fringe, by the way, and that was thanks to you. Anyway, so why was the British Empire successful? Well, it might surprise you because most people think it's because of this. But let me tell you, it's not. There are 3 reasons why, or, some hook in the beginning. Maybe that's a little bit too, like, I love how you started getting into the story, but something that makes people go, oh, what? Like, I need to stick around, right? So that can be really, really useful. I would experiment with that in the next video because truthfully, the number one thing you want to shoot for is watch time here. And if you can't keep people watching your videos, you're going to lose. So we need to do things in the beginning of our video to help people understand that our videos are worth the time that we're going to be spending to watch this video, right? Time is money. Time is more important than money. And this is what people are offering you in exchange for watching this content. So despite how great this content looks and how amazing it sounds, let's not fall short and include a great hook at the beginning of the video. Let's find another one. The geopolitics of the South China Sea. You also have room here in the title to add a little bit of something that could potentially get people to click on it more, right? The geopolitics of the South China Sea. Something like maybe, and I don't know the history, you do more, but there might be some interesting thing that I can include in there that might make me as a viewer who sees this as an impression. I just see the thumbnail and I see the title that might make me want to go, okay, let's go further, right? Because if you can't get people to click, then it's not even worth it. Yet the video itself is not going to work, right? So the geopolitics of the South China Sea, 3 surprising facts, right? The geopolitics of the South China Sea, unreal events at bay. I don't know, but that makes me go, well, what are these unreal events? And what are the things? I need to click on that, right? So let's click on this video too. You have, the thumbnails are really, really cool. I think they're different, especially for a history channel.
There was a single year where everything changed.
Ah, okay. Do you see what happened there? There was something that, okay, well, what changed and what year was this? And now that I know about the title and the thumbnail connecting me to the geopolitics of the South China Sea, I need to know this year. And I would want to stick around and watch this video. So you did it here. And I want to rewind here really quick. How many views did that video get? 157 views. There's probably a reason why. Because with such a good hook, people stuck around. And because people stuck around, YouTube served this to more people. And because YouTube served it to more people, guess what? More people found it, right? So there you go. I would do more of that. These thumbnails are really cool because they kind of tell a little bit of a story, and they're probably quite unique in the history space. But yeah, that was a hook. 1 year changed everything, right? Fabulous for a title. So, I would have the geopolitics of South China Sea, the year that changed everything. Boom. And guess what? You can include those things in your title right now. The title is not permanent. You can always change it. You can always change your thumbnails. But hopefully this was helpful. But I really, really love that. And Michael here and Kathy are definitely in agreement here. So hopefully this is making sense. Let's watch this other one. Medieval Kings react to 2020 election. I don't know. This one seems maybe a little bit more memey. Memey.
Medieval Kings react to the 2020 presidential election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Wouldn't that be something to see? Well, what if I told you that's exactly what this video is? Now, disclaimer, I don't actually know any medieval kings. They don't really exist anymore. I'm just using my knowledge of history to speculate what medieval kings might say. In this video, we are going to explore how medieval kings would possibly react to the 2020 presidential election. But keep in mind, this is not a political...
Again, your pattern interrupts with your visuals are really great. I just think that with this interesting idea, I don't know. It just didn't hit like I thought it could, right? I think that perhaps testing out your hook or titles with others, maybe talking about it with others, might give you some insight before you actually hit publish. So medieval kings react to 2020 election. That's almost kind of too far-fetched versus how would medieval kings like blank react to the 2020 election or something like that, right? I really love the concept. I just don't think the hook or the title is strong enough. So I really love it though. I love the simple cartoon pics. I think that it's just surprising that you don't have many more viewers. So anyway, hope this was helpful for you, and I just want to thank you again for being on the chopping block. I think we have enough to go off of for now, if that makes sense, right? So based on what I've seen so far, if we go back to the channel, I could imagine something up like, honestly, now that I've seen what I've seen, and chat, let me know if you agree with this or not, but the artwork does not reflect the video. The logo doesn't necessarily reflect the video. And the thumbnails, they all have like a really playful manner to them. And then I go up here and I'm like, oh, this is like a university, right? So there's a little bit of a disconnect there for me. And I think that if you were to match the style of the video with your artwork, use some of those cartoony drawings in there, have it be really interesting, include the fact that these are fun educational videos, different than everything else, then that would make sense, I think, right? So yep, artwork, very formal, says Bill. Happy Saturday, everyone. Bruh, Team Flynn for the win. Thank you, Hager. Appreciate you for the super chat, my friend. This is not my channel, folks. I agree about the disconnect on the visuals. Yeah, thank you, Doug. I mean, now that I've seen some of the videos, I think the artwork up here could be updated and we can have a better feel overall for how the style of this stuff is, right? So if I go infographic show, I'm going to go to the infographic show and we'll see what this looks like. 9 million subscribers.
It's August 11th.
So very similar in style, the fact that it's just like information and there's some visuals and graphics and illustrations to share. But already, like if I were to play more of this video,
and along with one,
look at the video, look at the artwork. Videos uploaded daily. Subscribe. All these things have a very similar feel, right? So hopefully that's making sense. Thank you so much for being on the chopping block. I appreciate you. All right, now we're going to review a website. And this is a website that was mentioned earlier when I saw that there was conversation happening in the chat before the stream started and then failed and then, started again. So I like the banner on this one. Videos uploaded daily, hopefully. Questions. Are you going to reveal your new YouTube channel today? No, not yet. Not yet. Okay, so here we are. This is a website review. Entertainment Nerd, right? So Entertainment Nerd, I see that they're using the Smart Podcast Player on the bottom, which is really cool. I'm going to accept the fact that this is using cookies. So I really love the fact that you're using tools to help me dive into more of what you have. Not only do you have these scrolling banners and whatnot, but I have the Smart Podcast Player, or now known as Fusebox Sticky Player, down below. You can check it out at fusebox.fm. You could sign up. It's free. And then there's a pro version available too. But I think that so Entertainment Nerd, I see a lot. It's almost like you've given me, so the equivalent of what I'm seeing here is like, hey, I'm an Entertainment Nerd, and you have a stack of magazines and you just like dump it on my table and you go. And I'm like, okay, but where do I even start and what is this about? It's like you just entered my office and you're like, gugoosh, right? Gugoosh. That's the name of dropping a ton of magazines about a whole bunch of different things on my plate. I don't know where to start. This thing is scrolling by and I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm just going to let you know. I don't know what is most important. I don't know even what this is about. Yes, entertainment and nerd type stuff. So, hey, Archer in the house, I know that you're resonating with this kind of stuff too. But there's a lot and my eye doesn't know where to go. So can we navigate around that scrolling banner? It looks like you can. I can go back and forth way. But I would say, number one, for news sites like this, what's your number one most important article that you would want a new viewer to see right now? I would have that at the top, big, with bold text for the title and a description that would make me want to click through, and a really good thumbnail. I see you have really good images to go along with these things too, so perhaps just using the same kinds of sort of visual language to go along with it. But I need like a headliner, right? When you open a newspaper, what do you see? You don't even need to open it because the headline is right up front with that big image. It's the number one piece of news that I need to see today, right? So that's something that I would have. And you have spy stuff, you have some Daredevil related things. Like there's a lot of things going on here, right? So there's a lot. I love what I'm seeing here in terms of the kinds of content. I don't know if you're writing this stuff or if somebody on your team's writing it, but there's a lot of cool things. I think that if I just knew that this was for me and you didn't have to force me to figure out that that was the case, I'd be all in on this for sure. But you are relying on the fact that you're hoping a person comes here, sees all the things, doesn't get overwhelmed and goes, ah, this seems to be the kind of stuff that I want to see, versus you telling me, hey, if you're a nerd and you love X, Y, and Z, this is for you. Here's the article you need to read below, right? So a big hero at the top over the scroller could work for sure. I indeed would like to see some main headlines with the latest stuff. Cool. MAV says, bro, I'm a teen. How might I learn? Just sit back and learn, or dive into the stuff on the YouTube channel and figure out who it is that you want to serve and start there. Start solving their problems first, right? Okay, so popular posts. I love that you have popular posts. This is something that more blogs, more YouTube channels need to do. I would recommend whatever your most popular stuff is, let's surface it up, right? It's almost like going to the restaurant. You open the menu and you see the chef's favorites or the fan favorites. Those you go to first, because what happens? In psychology, we want to be where everybody else is. We want to go where everybody knows your name. We want to know who else is getting what. And then that guides our decisions, right? So here we see popular posts. This is awesome. History of Thanos. I'm going to click on this because I'm interested actually. Cool. All right, I see, is this an ad? So this is cool and it's taking my eye away from probably what you would want me to. It's not a bad thing that you have ads, it's just placement. And the other thing is you don't have control over what these ads are if they are indeed AdSense and served from another thing. So I'm here now. I'm like, okay, see also, it's also like not a great conversation you're happening. Hey, come read about the history of Thanos. Okay, I'm here. See also this. Wait, what? I thought you were telling me about the history of Thanos, right? So this is nice. History of Thanos. Thanos did see things before coming to Earth to hunt rocks. Great headline, great title. Awesome picture. This looks like a figurine that was taken with a really nice camera, which is really cool. Let's take a look at the history of Thanos, the purple potato before coming to Earth to understand his motives employ better. Unfortunate childhood. Okay, I mean the hook here is kind of I would grade that maybe a C. It's not that great. It's just like, okay, let's look at the history, right, of the purple potato. So might you be able to rephrase? I mean, the whole purpose of the first sentence in a blog post is to get people to get hooked on reading the rest of it. And again, Ray Edwards is here. I know he would agree with me. He's the copywriting king. And that first sentence is so key because it's like if you were to go to someone on the street and say, hey, let's take a look at the history of Thanos, the purple potato, before coming to Earth to understand his motives employ better. It's like, okay, versus, I don't know, I'm just going to make this up off the top of my head, but, you know, it's like, you know, how much do you really know about Thanos? Yes, you know he came to Earth to look for these rocks and was very powerful, but do you know the history of Thanos and how this even began? Well, let's keep reading to find out. Whoa, okay, like, you've connected with me because you're like, yeah, I know you know about Thanos, but I also know you don't know about these things. And that's kind of a great way to hook people in. So I'm just kind of making that up off the top of my head. But as you can see, that just kind of hooks people a little bit better. The hook. That's all. Like, I could literally spend all next Saturday just saying hook for 1 hour. I should do that. That would be a viral video. Hey, here's how to improve your web YouTube channels. Hook. I could literally do that and it would serve so many people because that is something we all need to work on more, right? Even I know I need to work on that more, right? And unfortunately, today's hook was met with some technical issues. So people watching the replay are going to be like, oh, this person's unprofessional. How do they even have nearly 300 subscribers when they're failing like this? It's okay, it happens. And if you continue to serve, people will come back, right? But hook, right? If you want to think of a funnel, right? You think of a funnel and people go on a journey, right? More of a conical shape type thing. People start at the top, but they're not going to get through that funnel unless you hook them in, right? So hook, okay? Let's do it. So anyway, let's keep reading this. I love that you have a table of contents, by the way. That's really handy. I don't see that very often, and that's great for search engine optimization too, right? But I think that with these headlines here, we can treat these as sort of like mini titles, right? Mini titles that can get me more interested in the next part, right? So it's almost like, I think maybe you're, and maybe this is just this particular topic, but I love the topic. I'm not loving the plan of shocking Earth to rescue. See, this is more interesting than unfortunate childhood. If it was maybe instead, you know, the worst childhood ever. Whoa, okay, how is it the worst childhood ever, right? Versus something more textbook, unfortunate childhood. Become the ruler of the sanctuary. Start of history of Thanos. Again, this is like very textbook. Like, how do we add some personality here? I think nerds love that kind of stuff, right? Especially if you can put in some lore and you can make it sort of nerdy in how you present it, right? For example, kill the robbery race could be Rehobory shall no longer exist. Just something different that would sort of speak to that a little bit more. I also see categories here on the right side, which is cool. It's always great to have sort of a way to interlink different posts in your blog. Okay, you may also like, that's great. I was going to look for that to see, okay, how are you taking me from this article to the next article? Leave a comment. Now, what do you want to have people leave a comment about, right? Please let us know your thoughts in the comments. It's not going to be a great sort of like call to action to get people to leave comments, right? Like so people have all kinds of thoughts, but if it's not guided or if there is no incentive, then it's not going to really get any engagement. Versus like, would you agree with this? Or, what was your favorite part even could go a little bit better versus just like, let me know your thoughts, right? They're almost just as good as, thoughts and prayers. Like, what specifically can you do to help? Or what specifically can a person comment about? That's just, we need to guide people a little bit more. I think a big theme here, not just for you, Entertainment Nerd, and again, I appreciate you for being here, and, I'm loving, like, the content and everything I'm seeing here. I'm just trying to help out, but I think a big thing that we have to consider is just this idea of helping people know what the heck is here, and being so almost like fourth grader in presentation about it, right? And not to discount like how smart our audience is. The internet audience is really smart, but at the same time, we're fickle and we're distracted very easily, and we're always looking for the quickest way to get to our answer. That's just the time we live in today. So we need to take advantage of that and give them what they need. Without we want to do it in a way where they don't even have to think. They just know that this is for them, right? We need a hook icon to pop in the chat. Indeed. Hey, who's that? Arnav, if you keep spamming and stuff, unfortunately the mods are going to give you this 3 strikes, and we're gonna have to remove you from the channel. So I apologize. We're here, we're enjoying, and of course you might want to come in tomorrow because I answer questions tomorrow, and today's website reviews and such. So I appreciate you. See, look at this. Today's review, his one and only thing said, question. Hey Pat, I'm 16 and looking to start a YouTube channel, passive income business. How do I start, and what is the best for me to start out with? Thank you so much for asking in a very respectful manner. I appreciate you for that. You might want to check out episodes 192, 193, and 194 of the Smart Passive Income Podcast, because 192, 193, and 194 will offer you a playbook of sorts that you can choose from based on what your interests are and the different options that are out there, which ones might be easier or not as easy to start for you in particular, and that's where I would start. So you can go to smartpassiveincome.com/session192, or you can read my book, Will It Fly, for example. That is available on Kindle and on Amazon for you to help you validate business ideas and learn sort of the ropes on how to get started. Just to give you a clue, it's all about helping and serving others first. Finding a group of people who might need some help, making something more convenient for them, removing their problems, solving with solutions, and really understanding the psyche of who it is that you're helping. And you can go from there. Entertainment Chat said, thank you for all your suggestions, and thank you, Chat, as well. Well done. Hey. Excellent job. Ryan here is here, busy, but listening in the background. No worries. Sweet. Fantastic. Great. Well, let's keep going. I see a Mr. Paul Turner in the house. Paul, are you still here? I'd love to review your thing. And you had mentioned earlier, I saw you. If you're still here, let me know if, in fact, you would like me to review your YouTube channel, which I am going to assume it was your YouTube channel, but I cannot be 100% sure. So there's a couple Paul Turners here in the house as well. So if you could let me know. For example, I see Paul Turner, the from Disciple Project Ministries channel, and Paul Turner with the helmet and the goggles. There's also Paul Turner with a really dope looking helmet. Look at that. That's pretty sick. I don't know what that's about. It almost looks like one of those new age Pokemon. Anyway, as we're chatting here, hook, 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 hook. Bill says, Pat, since we need to keep on 4th grade level, why not promote Stuff Happens by Pat Flynn? Great book for young and old. Stuff Happens. Check it out. From Bill's recommendation. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you for that. I am here. Okay, I'm looking at your channel. Okay, I see your avatar. It is this right here. Okay, first of all, over 700 videos, 6,000 subscribers. Way to push through. Like, persistence is absolutely key here on the YouTubes. And so, well done. Let's see what we can do to spur some growth here for you and keep things going. Actually, in fact, I'm going to go to your video channel really quick. I'm going to sort by oldest, and I want to see when your first video was. 13 years ago. Wow, you've been on YouTube longer than I have. This was actually, did you know YouTube started in 2005? 2005. So you've been in for almost the entire time, a couple years after it started. It actually was launched on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2005. Might you have a guess on why it was launched on February 14th, 2005? Right? The good-looking guy, says Paul. I love it. So I'm going to go into your earlier videos, or your latest videos. Cool. So this is some of the stuff that we're seeing that has come out recently. I like the sort of arrangement of different thumbnails and things that you're testing and trying out. I'm at most popular because I just want to get a sense for, like, what does YouTube tell you to do more of? How to make giant foam letters, youth ministry type stuff. A lot of your youth ministry stuff from a while back, and even this one, youth group game, Riverbank, is going well. And then some fundraiser type stuff, how to make a drum shield. So it seems like sort of variety type stuff, but with the ministry sort of component to it. We'll Bill in the house too as a variety show. But anyway, okay, let's go to the homepage. I'm going to click stop on this. So yes, YouTube was launched on February 14th, 2005, because it wasn't a video hosting platform. It was a dating website. Did you know that? So people started to, mostly men in fact, started to upload videos, and it was a platform built to connect people who wanted to date each other, but through the use of video. And unfortunately, nobody used it, but they had built this incredible system to upload and host videos, and then they eventually turned it on and just made it YouTube, the thing that anybody can use to upload videos, and the start of YouTube. That's a little history lesson for you, if you will. So yes. So Paul says, oh no, the early stuff. Okay, so I want to do a couple things here. Number one, let's talk about the artwork a little bit. Helping youth workers build successful youth ministries. So clear for who this is for and what it is that you do. Just high five on you for that one. So I'm sure this is something that's been sort of discovered over time, that this is what you do, what your focus is. And so that's great. That's fantastic. I think that you could benefit from a little bit of a makeover on the artwork. It's not quite centered. The blue and green sort of aren't really sort of, mixing too well with the background. I'm not quite sure why that's the case. There could likely be some, and if you were to include, for example, one kind of image that you, Paul, would probably know better than me, that I'm wondering if there was one particular image that you could use to support the fact that this channel is to help youth workers build successful youth ministries. Maybe there are, hands being held across the way that could support that image, or an image of a ministry itself, or some of the games that you might play, or there's something in the background to help me go, oh, now I'm connecting even more. I would also consider, Paul, like, You are a handsome guy. Let's put you up there and let's have you sort of like pointing to this or looking at it, or and bring some personality into it, because you are obviously in your videos, and that's fantastic. And I do want to click play on this welcome youth workers welcome video in just a minute here. But yeah, so I mean, you've nailed the language. That's so, so important, right? But I think that now that you've nailed the language, let's display that in a way that can help people go, because this looks very MySpacey in design, and thankfully the wording is good enough that that's going to help people stick around. But in some cases, people are very fickle online, where if they see something that doesn't look quite perfect or straight, it's like, well, they're out. And so it would just, you know, make sense to nail that, and it would be one thing that could just start, you know, just one easy thing that just is one and done. It's done, and it's good. But anyway, 6,000 subs. Let's watch this welcome video really quick and see what we can do to help Paul, or see how you hook me into what it is that you do.
Hey, thanks for checking out my channel. My name is Paul Turner from thediscipleproject.net, and I've been working with students for the past 28 years and uploading videos right here on YouTube for the past.
So first of all, you've given me proof that you're the guy to listen to, right? So one thing that I often look for websites and YouTube reviews are, okay, well, why you, right? We didn't actually see this for entertainment nerds either. It's like, okay, well, who's behind this, and why should I follow you? This, I'm seeing it right away, right? So like the fact that you've been working in this industry for 28 years, and first of all, you're really good on camera. I love the sort of vibe. The music in the background is great. That stood out to me. It just seems like a really nice, friendly place to be, and you're a really friendly, nice guy to learn from. So I love that you included that there. I'm hoping that you're going to tell me a little bit more specifically about the kinds of videos and things that I'm going to learn here.
My hope is that whether you're a volunteer, bivocational, or full-time youth worker.
Okay, you've just casted a wide net, and that is perfect. So this is a wonderful video so far, and it seems like you're about to tell me what I want to hear. So if I'm one of those three things that you mentioned, then I'm in, right? I'm like, okay, I am a volunteer, or I am a youth worker. That's so key, right? So oftentimes in my videos, because I know there's different kinds of entrepreneurs or different kinds of content creators, if I have a video, for example, that I know is going to be relevant for all of them, I call them all out really quickly. It's a fun, simple way to, again, cast a wide net, so that if you're one of those things or more, I'm going to bring you in, right? So, for example, I often say, whether you're a blogger, a podcaster, or even a YouTuber, I'm going to teach you how to create wonderful hooks that get people to stick around and dig deeper into your content, right? Boom, I've just casted a wide net, and I told you something that you wanted to hear, because ultimately you want people to stick around on your website a little bit more, right? So we're only 13 seconds in. I've learned so much about you, and I've gotten social proof, and you've connected with me already. Fantastic. Let's keep going.
That these videos will equip and train you to raise up lifetime followers of Jesus. Now listen, how I do that is by uploading weekly about room design, ministry principles, games, and anything else that I've learned.
Okay, everything you just mentioned there should be included, uploaded weekly, games, all, I can't remember, but all those things. And yo, guys, we're 24 seconds into this. This is brilliant, Paul. I absolutely love it. And as you can tell, like, the lighting's not the best, and you know, the backgrounds, I don't even know what that is, but that's okay, right? You're telling me the words I want to hear, and that's absolutely fantastic. You could include some of those words up in the artwork, is what I was saying. Uploading weekly. Now I have an understanding of what I'm going to get when I subscribe, right? Because the subscription isn't a like. Let me say that again. A subscription is not a like. A subscription is a promise, essentially, that you are going to deliver this kind of stuff to the viewer, right, over time, right? A subscription is hope that you are going to follow through with the things that you're saying. A subscription is not a like. That's a key factor and a key difference.
Over the past 28 years that would help you, the local youth worker, with your youth ministry. So listen, I would invite you to be a part of this community by clicking on my head right here and hit the subscribe button and be a part, share your own thoughts and ideas, as well as ask questions. So thanks again for checking out this video, and I look forward to hanging out with you in the comments.
Cool. It's okay that there's a long intro there. You told people to click on your head. I would have had like an arrow pointing at that point just so people know what to do. But you could also, the one thing I would recommend for this video, which you don't actually have to do, or to re-upload for, you could just do it, is to have your head pop up as soon as you say that. You pointed, and then I had to wait a couple seconds, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, I was looking all around. Versus if that came up and you just said it, then okay. So just add what that's called an end screen. Just make that part of the end screen come out a couple seconds sooner, right? So there you go. Wonderful job. I gotta say, probably the best welcome video we've seen on any of these reviews so far. So concise, so clear. You've told me everything I want to hear. You have connected with a specific person. You told me the benefit of subscribing, and then you gave me a call to action. That's wonderful. Great job. Wonderful job. I would also include in the description a lot of the same kinds of things. The games and all those kinds of things, and your social proof as well. There might be a person who comes across this video at work and they're not able to listen. So maybe they're just going to read the description really quick. And if they see that you've been doing this for 28 years and that you're here to serve the X, Y, and Z type person with ABC, then it's like, okay, I'm in. So wonderful job. I love that. Okay, so let's go to, so you have popular uploads, which is great. Use games for social distancing. Look at these games, yo. Look at how many views these games have. So these are, this kind of, YouTube is telling me, and likely telling you, that your viewers and the people in this space want to know more about what they can do with their kids to keep them active and to teach and to kind of play. And I would consider like just focusing even more on those videos, right? Because I see some other videos here that perhaps aren't doing as well as you would hope, right? Your latest one's the Ultimate Youth Group Christmas Party. Okay, well that one makes sense to me. Maybe it's a little bit different because it was streamed, and I don't see that you do a lot of streams, so that maybe is just a little bit why, maybe a little bit more why it's unique, in that maybe it doesn't get as many views as you would hope. Streams are tough, I gotta say. Even after 261 days of doing this, or 262, or whatever the number is, it's difficult, especially for the replay viewer. We need to really make sure that we craft these videos in a way, something in my eye, that is also beneficial for the replay viewer. And oftentimes on live streams, we see a lot of, okay, guys, welcome in. I'm going to wait like 5 minutes for more people to come in. And anybody who watches the replay is like out. And then what happens is people will click away, and that signals to YouTube, oh, people are coming here and they're not staying. So let's not share this with anybody else. And so that's just something to keep in mind. If you're going to be doing a live stream, like start right away, right? And just be as great as you were in your welcome video here, right? Let's see. The root of ungratefulness. How to triple your social media engagement. You must have youth ministry resources. So look at this, giving us clues, right? Sorry. So this is giving us clues. The root of ungratefulness, 22 views 1 week ago. 29 views, 39 views. This one, 38 views. Boom, 90 views. Which is it? Oh, youth ministry resource. So something specific to the target audience, right? To me, I think a lot of things like this, the root of ungratefulness, although that is helpful and it can still be included, should in some way, shape, or form be wrapped around the still a title and a thumbnail that is about youth ministry resource, right? If that makes sense. Yeah, streams are brutal. I'm filming these at my peak viewer times. Cool. But here's something that's interesting. Most of the views on my live streams happen after. And so starting right away and keeping the hook really good in the beginning, and then delivering and follow through, and then encouraging people who are watching later to come and watch live the next time you do this, or make sure to subscribe, is good. How to triple your social media engagement. So to me, this confuses YouTube. It's like, wait, I thought you were talking about, youth ministry stuff, and here you come out with a social media engagement video. Number one, you're already setting yourself up for failure with this particular video because YouTube doesn't know you as somebody to do that. It doesn't mean you can't experiment, and it's totally cool if you're experimenting, but I'm getting clues that YouTube is like, oh, well, you're not necessarily known for that, so I'm not going to share this because we don't think it's going to help people that are following you. And YouTube has so much data. They know the kinds of people that watch your video, and they're going to send this out if it makes sense to send out. And in this case, it's likely that they're not sending this out. But here, your must-have youth ministry resource for 2021. First of all, incredible title, must-have. I need to know. In 2021, it's just right around the corner. It's on the top of our minds. That's great, right? I think that the thumbnail could even be improved a little bit more. I love how you're pointing and you have the same text in the title as in the thumbnail. And as a result of that, I think it's wasted space. You could include something else here or make the playbook even bigger. My Youth Ministry Playbook 2021, make that bigger. You're pointing at that. It's much more blue, much more stand out. And you have the words that you had already here in the title working for you. So it's to do the same here, like equipping teens to do social media ministry, equipping teens to do social media ministry. It's the same thing twice. And again, a person's looking at the phone. I don't really quite know what I'm going to get here or what's happening, but that's part of the reason why maybe this isn't getting seen by as many people. This is really cool. 12 Days of Christmas Games, something that, was a theme thing that you did a while back. I would imagine that if you were to do this again, it would do even better. And it's very evergreen, right? Those kinds of situations. Youth ministry lessons, sermons, and illustrations. Cool. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. I think that there's a little bit of honing in on what your videos should be about and who they could be for. Parents should have this, Paul, says Cynthia. He said he's no longer restreaming. That said, no longer restreaming live. Sorry, you missed your hook, so why not just hook again? Hook, 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 hook. Need to change the thumbnail. Cool. This is really good, though. Like, I'm loving everything I'm seeing. Let's look at some of your popular videos, right? First of all, this one, I'm guaranteeing that it's probably being found a lot through search because a lot of people, myself included, had once wanted to know how to make giant styrofoam letters. Let's click on this video and see how you hook me into that. Sorry about that.
Paul Turner here with the discipleproject.net, here with another project. We're doing a bit of a facelift, if you will, in our youth.
First of all, the audio in the beginning, to me at least, when I have my earbuds in, were super loud. But I know you filmed this like 3 years ago, so I'm sure your audio is much better now. But even despite that, you still have 150,000 views here, which is really amazing. But just make sure we keep the audio levels the same. Just look at the audio waveform in your video program, just to make sure there's nothing crazy loud compared to everything else, because I had to sort of turn the volume down, and then when you started talking, turn the volume up. And we don't want to have our audience do that.
Because we are renaming our youth group to Lift. We were Fusion, now we're going to be Lift, and that means that we have to change everything over. Maybe you know the feeling when you go through a name change. You want to change the stage and some of these other things, and so I want to show you today what we're going to be doing. The first thing I did was go ahead and measure our wall, and this, right where this...
Okay, so what I love about these kinds of videos, and the hook was okay, but the title is what did it for me. But also what is happening is you're bringing me behind the scenes. And I think that especially for your kind of content where you're showing people how to work with kids and behind the scene and youth ministry type stuff and how to create certain games, like if you could take me behind the scenes, every time I've done that, it's worked so well. Hey guys, come, I'm going to show you how to do this, right? Hey, I just bought a new office at WeWork and we're going to be soundproofing it. Come along with me on the ride. One of my most popular videos in the past couple of years was how we've done acoustical panel and soundproofing within our office. And I'm no longer at that office because I'm working from home now. But that video, because number one, people look for that stuff, but number two, it's almost like a story. You're telling a story. Here's what we did, and here's what we're doing, and like people can see the before and after. That's so powerful. And I think that maybe there might be a way to combine what people love about this video, because you're not a arts and crafts channel, right? But in this case, you were telling a story and you're showing people behind the scenes and you're giving people an example of a before and then an after. That's a great hook, right? Because people, like, just imagine the person coming and watching this video. Oh, you're building something from scratch that I want to do too. Like, let me see how it turns out. There is a reason to stick around to the end to see how things turn out. In my acoustical panel videos, you have to stick around to hear the difference. But in a video that's like, 3 ways to help our teens with social media, what we need to do better at the hook to enforce people to stick around versus this is just inherently built into the subject matter itself, right? If that makes sense. So there could be a way for you in your future videos to go, oh, how people behind the scenes. Hey, thanks for checking. Dude, you have such a really vibrant personality. I love it. I love the way you start that. Okay, let's look at this one. This one was a fairly recent video. And look, I see kids, I see games. This is behind the scenes, same thing, right?
Hey everybody, Paul Turner here from the discipleproject.net and paulturnerspeaks.com. Glad to be with you today. Today, going to be talking about a game, super simple. All you need is a roll of tape and it's called
That was my
Riverbank.
computer.
And so what I've done is I have a
Whoa, whoa,
little
whoa.
clip here
I missed something
about
important
a
there.
game, super simple. All you need is a roll of tape, and it's called Riverbank.
Wow. Okay, so first of all, you had that little bumper in the beginning. That is okay. It was short enough where it didn't bother me too much. But in most cases, just starting with the whole thing, that why people are here, is going to do better. And then you can sort of drop in your social proof and your socials and your links and all that stuff after, right? Excuse me. But I like this thumbnail. I like the hook. All you need is a roll of tape. What was that? That's it, right? Literally, and that's it. And it's called Riverbank, right? So now I'm like, a roll of tape, like that's all? Like, show me, sensei, right? And that's the hook right there, right?
And so what I've done is I have a little clip here of me playing the game with students at a retreat.
Behind
And
the
so you can kind
scenes.
of get the cadence down of how this works. And before I get into that, though, I want to let you know I have a brand new devotional called Get Real with Jesus, where
See, you've earned the right to say that now because you've hooked me in. You told me what you're going to tell me. You're telling me it's worth my time to stick around. And you've earned permission, essentially, to go and talk about something, right? This is a very, very important lesson for everybody watching this, especially if you do YouTube videos, right? Before you start sharing your lead magnet, before you start sharing about you, how are you going to help this person? Or what's the whole point of sticking around and watching this video first? Then you can talk about these kinds of things. So I really love that. And now it's worth waiting and hearing you say this before we get into the sort of behind the scenes, right? So let me fast forward so we could see what this is, because I think everybody's curious now who's in the chat.
Kids into being on the wrong side of that tape. So let's take a look at it. All right, here we go. Ready? Bank. You're on the bank. You're on the bank. River. Now, when I say river, get in the river. Bank. River. River. Bank. River. River. Bank. 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 River. Bank. River. Bank.
That's fun. I love that. That's pretty cool. So it took me a while to understand what was going on, but it's such an easy game that you don't even have to explain it. I mean, you're probably going to explain it after, but I really love that idea. Anyway, I think that Ryan has a good idea. Maybe add some B-roll with the kids starting to play. So as you're saying, hey, I'm going to take you behind the scenes a little bit to share with you kind of what the kids are up to. And literally you can just show a clip of what you're about to share, just to kind of reinforce that hook a little bit more. Visuals are always great related to the hook for sure. And yeah, I think that's awesome. Patty has so many views, but not so many followers just because of the few things you've mentioned. Potentially. Like imagine you follow because you want youth ministry games and tips to better support the children, right? But then you get a video that's about, something else random. Oftentimes though, like, so that can help you, that might force people to go, oh, well, I'm not getting what I thought I was getting here. I'm out, right? The other thing that can happen is some of your videos can pop, meaning YouTube is going to just send them to everybody. And that's awesome that it happens. But when people dig into the channel after, for example, when people find this foam lettering video, they find it, they view it, it gets recommended to them, and then they dive into the channel, and either the channel doesn't do a good enough job of letting people know what this is about, or that's just not of interest to them. Well, then the view doesn't, and in that case, is not usually going to turn into a subscriber. But you can still find some subscribers in that case, right? But this is why likely Paul's not including that foam video, which is the most popular video, as a video in the welcome area, because that has not really much to do with the channel itself. I struggle with that too. I did a video back in 2011 or 2012 that was about how to create an awesome slide deck. It's my #1 video. I think it has, let's see. I mean, I think if you just look up like PowerPoint presentation, check this out. #2, like that's insane. So 5 years ago, so 2015, and 1.5 million views. I can tell you for a fact that like this is the video that has the lowest percentage of people who subscribe to my channel. And it's because my channel is not known for creating awesome slide decks. I just happen to create this, and I don't want to become known for this, so I haven't really created any new content about it, but this is all I need, right? So that's just something that is good to keep in mind. What's up, Anthony? Thanks for being here. Cool. So yeah, I hope this is helpful, and really good conversation today. We only reviewed 3 different properties, but despite that, I think we learned a lot. We talked about a lot of things that we don't often talk about when it comes to these things. So thank you to Paul. Thank you to Entertainment Nerd, as well as History for Thinkers. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you take this advice and you implement it. And Paul, especially with you with so many videos, like I think once you start to hone in on these are the videos that we make and here's why and here's who they're for, I guarantee you that that's going to lift things up really greatly, because I can see YouTube's trying to tell you, hey, these are the kinds of videos that you need to do more of, and those videos that seem to do much better. And thankfully, that is in alignment with what it is that you do and you want to do. So great job, everybody. Thank you so much. I did see some chat in the chat room about some stuff that was happening personally for some of you. I just want to say, I see that, I read it. Dawn and Grandma Goody, I see you and I pray and I hope that all is well. And if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. But I appreciate you being here and spending time with your other family here at the Quaranteam. And I just want to say I appreciate you so much for coming in today. And yeah, great morning. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. We're going to just do a fun casual Q&A. I sit down and put the music on, and we just hang out and I bust through as many questions as I can for you during that time. So again, 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow for Q&A, and that's noon Eastern. And I also look forward to this afternoon. My kids and I are going to be streaming, and that's going to be at twitch.tv/hotcoalsonly. And if you'd like to check out what the family dynamic is like while we play some video games, that's always just a fun family time. So twitch.tv/hotcoalsonly, probably around 1:30 to 2 p.m. Pacific today. Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well done today. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Cheers and high five. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. Let's go.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you for coming in and also dealing with the crazy technical issues we had today. But hey, we figured it out. We made it work. I'm so grateful for you. So thanks so much. Peace out. Take care. Bruh.